To err is human, but exactly how you go wrong may be what defines the specific human you are. For 7 seasons, Orange is the New Black explored character through a diverse group of women who were paying for the errors of their ways. And for most major characters, the final season zeroed in on a moral each woman had learned, or a broader theme she represented.
I want to apologize for a lot of things.
Here's our take on the ending of Orange is the New Black, character by character, and what the series taught us about continuing on when life doesn't turn out the way you hoped.
Even after you serve your time, they still find ways to punish you.
In the end, Piper Chapman's story was about accepting what's not gone according to plan. Before she went to prison, Piper's life looked perfect.
Promise me you're not watching Mad Men without me.
The starting premise of Orange is the New Black was essentially that this person really didn't belong in Litchfield.
What'd you do?
I read that you're not supposed to ask that.
You read that? Well, you studied for prison?
7 seasons later, Piper is at last out of prison, and her life, trying to make ends meet as an ex-con, is anything but perfect.
I am still paying my debt.
She grapples with an unbridgeable distance between her and others of her socioeconomic class. That distance is this experience she's had of being behind bars. It's not only that her peers can't fathom it and view her as tainted.
The other ladies left because they heard the former felon thing.
It's also that this chapter fundamentally changed Piper.
I'm scared that I'm not myself in here, and I'm scared that I am.
Thanks to her privileged obliviousness and lack of self-understanding.
It was hardly a mansion. How many bathrooms? 4 or 5. There was a half bath off the playroom.
Piper suffered from what Vox's Emily Vanderwerf called likability issues.
When you say that everybody hates me, you're being a little hyperbolic, right?
Even the actress who played her, Taylor Schilling, had her problems with Piper. She said that while Breaking Bad's Walter White always had a reason, even if he did horrific things, Piper's behavior oftentimes feels groundless.
Sisters, we may be incarcerated, but our panties will travel the world.
By the end, though, Piper did grow into a relatable character. She became a more grounded, feeling human being thanks to what she suffered. Now, when she looks at the self-involved, upper-middle-class hippie types around her, she sees the person she might still be if not for prison. She's more than that now.
I went to prison and I met parts of myself lurking inside of me that I didn't even know were in there.
And that's because her life has been imperfect, because she went astray from her plan. Prison wasn't the detour from her real life. It was her real life.
4% of my life?
But it was enough to change.
Absolutely everything.
The main thing pre-Litchfield Piper lacked was deeper perspective of the world and how she fit into it.
Oh my God, Larry, by the time I get out, there'll have been like 3 new generations of iPhones.
And since Piper is ultimately a stand-in for us, the audience entering this alien environment, the message is that we too are better people for having spent time empathizing with these women and processing the obstacles life has thrown at them.
Maybe this was the best thing that ever happened to you. Because now you can never be nice and normal again.
Over the seasons, Piper gave up much of her primacy to let more marginalized characters take the focus. Show creator Jenji Cohen called Piper a Trojan horse who got viewers interested before the writers shifted to putting Black and Latina women center stage.
You could take this yuppie white girl and follow her in, and through her as like a gateway drug, you can tell all these other stories as well.
And even while the final season uses Piper to show how hard it is to get back on your feet after serving time,
I didn't realize that early release meant I was responsible for all of my monitoring and testing fees.
the show takes pains to point out that she has it less hard than almost every other ex-con.
I got women coming in here, 4 kids, no support, working 3 jobs.
Ultimately, she does have a network to fall back on.
I don't know why you won't just ask Dad to help you out.
She asks her dad for help, and everything turns out all right. As the story wraps up, Piper grapples with the decision that will shape her future. Should she hold on to Alex, or leave this person behind? Over the seasons, Orange is the New Black has framed this relationship in a variety of lights, as a toxic tale of the negative influences that pull people into a life of crime, as a love story thwarted by striving to fit a middle-class heteronormative ideal, and finally, as a real love that's nonetheless stuck in an unhealthy, vicious cycle.
I don't like Alex. She put you in prison. She continues to make you suffer.
To seemingly everyone but Piper, it's obvious that Alex isn't good for her, while this awesome new woman she's met, Zelda, is a far better catch.
She's on her way and she likes you, and all you can think about is Alex.
Piper's ex-fiancé Larry offers the cynical interpretation that Piper is drawn to Alex out of a self-destructive desire to feel interesting and special.
Alex was your ticket to special.
It's safe to say many viewers were agreeing with these critiques and willing Piper to make the logical and constructive choice of leaving Alex behind for this person who appears to be better. Yet nobody else can tell you what's true in your heart, and casting out everything that's damaged in your life or yourself to admit only the shiny and new is like cutting off your own limb.
We met, and I grew another limb. And it's like she's a part of my body.
If Piper ditched Alex when it got hard, this would be the same as everyone giving up on her because she's been to prison and her life is a lot messier now. Orange is the New Black is about why we must care about people that society writes off as lost causes. We can't go around discarding people the second they no longer spark joy.
Does she spark joy?
Are you asking me to Marie Kondo my wife?
Piper chooses instead to do the hard work of rehabilitating a love that has problems. She ends the series with talk of becoming clean.
Clean living. Clean conscience.
Interestingly, these final lines bring to mind our culture's most beloved prison movie ever, which is still #1 in the IMDb Top 250, Shawshank Redemption.
Andy Dufresne, who crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side.
The image of purification is a natural stand-in for the process of reflecting on and repenting for one's crimes. But here, becoming clean takes on the meaning of giving others and ourselves another chance.
And a clean slate.
Piper embodies the truth that embracing our hardship, finding a way through it, can make us wiser, kinder, and more fulfilled human beings. As Piper Chapman became less protagonist and more framing device, over the seasons another protagonist emerged, Tasha Jefferson, Taystee, the true heart and soul of Orange is the New Black.
You a full-blown Slytherin, and I'm a lion-hearted Gryffindor with the intelligence of a Ravenclaw.
Taystee's story is the inverse of Piper's. Whereas Piper ends her story back on her feet thanks to a little help from her friends and a job from her dad, when Taystee gets out of prison, she lacks any kind of support network or viable means of income besides crime.
I ain't selling drugs no more. If I get popped, they gonna send me back. It's that or the street.
So she ends up back inside.
I ain't got no place to stay. I was sleeping on the floor of my second cousin's apartment like a dog. Everyone I know is poor, in jail, or gone.
Season 6 concludes with Piper leaving Litchfield, while Taystee is convicted for a crime she didn't commit, shut up deeper into the bowels of this vicious prison system, probably never to escape. It's no accident that these two characters' opposite verdicts realistically reflect the difference in their racial and socioeconomic backgrounds. Piper gets to start over, but Taystee, a black woman who spent her whole life in the system,
well, I'm a child of the system,
finds ultimately that the world doesn't care about her innocence, about the injustice, about her. Add to this, Taystee's fight for justice for the killing of her best friend, Poussey, is not only denied, but cruelly punished.
All I wanted was for the person who killed my friend to be up here where I am now, telling you why he murdered.
And the show's final season is really about this protagonist grappling with despair.
I mean, it's every night for the rest of your life. Looking at the same darkness in the same box. It's 20,000 nights.
Suicide appears to be her last available means of agency.
But if I'm not alive, then I'm not in prison. That's the only way that I can have some kind of control over my own life.
Not to mention her only way out of Litchfield, ever.
Finally got your last meal, huh? At least you found your way out this place.
Orange is the New Black has presented countless stories of people getting crushed and forgotten by a system that doesn't care about human beings.
Our fight is with a system that don't give a damn about poor people. and brown people and poor brown people.
Meanwhile, the show has also reveled in the humor and spirit of these characters who have so many strengths worth celebrating. So does the series want to end with despair over a broken world? Or hope in the clever, creative, loving individuals who persevere in spite of everything?
I can't hope. I don't have no more fight left in me.
Ultimately, through Taystee, Orange is the New Black chooses hope.
I think I'm gonna keep swinging a little bit longer, see what I hit.
Taystee's last season arc also bears a notable resemblance to Shawshank Redemption, a wrongfully convicted, inspirational character the audience fears will commit suicide, sees the plucky young mentee they've tutored tragically die shortly after passing the GED. And at the heart of both stories is an affirmation of hope.
Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things. And no good thing ever dies.
Not only when it seems justified, but even more so when life appears utterly hopeless. Taystee's turning point comes through a flashback to a call with Poussey, who reminds her that in spite of all the darkness, life includes joys and loves we can never anticipate.
You know, what kind of life would that have been if I never met you?
You gotta hold on a little longer than you think you can.
There's good shit working its way to you that you don't even know about.
In the end, the hope Taystee finds isn't in the world, but in herself. The wrongs against her may never be righted, but she can make a positive difference for others.
If they don't get some kind of assist within the first 72 hours, they probably gonna end up criming and landing their asses back in here, like I did.
And she shows that optimism is found through creating something you believe in, contributing to a better world, helping someone else.
This is financial literacy. This is gonna help you get off the poverty bus, or at least get you enough money so that you ain't gotta do illegal shit no more, okay?
Daya's story ends just as it began, with her getting attacked by her mother. Dayanara and Aleida Diaz represent the toxic cycle of generational trauma and a pernicious system that destroys whole families. When Orange is the New Black begins, Aleida comes off as a nightmare mom.
You need to look after them better.
How about you?
I got better things to do. I'm eating oysters, bitches.
While Daya is a sweet, artistic, romantic flower. Daya is clearly a victim of circumstance and of a mother who made a lot of bad choices.
I take a fall for that motherfucker. The least he could do is visit.
Hey, I have an idea. You want to ask how we're doing?
But the final season delves into how Aleida herself was a victim of circumstances, pushed into this life of bad choices by her own mother.
Hey, the last guy kept pinching me, and his breath smelled like dog treats. If he wants to pinch you, let him pinch you.
Moreover, this woman, who was taught terrible coping techniques from childhood, is often acting out of a fierce desire to protect her children.
Little girl.
Tragically, her misguided actions tend to push her kids toward the very dangers she's trying to prevent.
I can't have that. I can't have another one up like that.
Daya is, more than any other character, changed beyond recognition for the worse by her time in prison.
I'll run this place.
It's symbolic that the drugs Taystee considers using to kill herself come from Daya. Facing down an entire life without escape from these walls, she gets hooked on drugs, and her addiction turns her into a cold-hearted crime lord and killer.
Who's this evil junkie? I don't even recognize you.
In this final mother-daughter moment on screen, Aleida's violence is triggered by Daya's plan to involve her sisters in crime.
Leave the family stuff to me, because he was going to do whatever I tell her to do. And we maybe even bring Lucy in.
The image of this desperate mother trying to kill her own daughter to save her family captures the tragic losing battle she's been fighting all along. It helps us understand that the first slap had the same meaning, Aleida's misery that she couldn't stop her daughter from ending up where she did.
Oh, for me, Anna, this place will hit you for me.
Actress Dasha Polanco confirmed that the writers assured her Daya doesn't die here. But Polanco interpreted the symbolism of the ending. Her story is the product of a cycle that we, as a community, need to intervene in. The system is broken, and it's very obvious when we see all these stories. They're the forgotten ones.
What happened to you? You used to be sweet. Drawing and talking about boring shit.
Maritza, the beauty who defines herself by how much she gets looked at,
I've had a lot of stalkers over the years.
Right.
Because of your face?
And my body.
Ends her story on Orange is the New Black with being disappeared. After getting picked up by ICE, she's shocked to discover that she wasn't born in the US as she always believed. But while she eventually has a good defense shaping up,
and they put me in touch with a lawyer, she said I actually might have a good case.
she makes the gutsy move to help other detainees access a lawyer, and she's quickly deported. Her story proves the moral that no good deed goes unpunished in our world.
The hot ones always gotta cause trouble.
But that makes it all the more important that you do the right thing. We see this determination in Maritza's eyes when she decides to extend a hand to the other women in her situation, even though she knows it will likely cost her.
This is for a lawyer.
Maritza's ending also illustrates how much of life comes down to luck. The plot of her hitting it off with an NBA player represents how close she comes to getting the fairy tale she always dreamed of.
As soon as I get back, we're gonna plan some traveling too. Buying you a ticket to visit me in LA.
It seemed incredibly plausible that Maritza would be rewarded by our society for her looks.
Yo, you just hit 10,000 views.
No shit! Let me see this! All these comments are about you, though.
There's a bitter, unfair randomness in her getting picked up in a raid after she's made the smart, responsible choice not to risk violating her parole.
Cheer up, girl. You did the right thing. Better than ending up back in prison.
She almost got exactly what she wanted.
I could have been a wifey, or a trophy wife, or a real housewife. All I ever wanted to be was anything with the word wife in it, you know?
And the only thing that separates her from one of those rich basketball wives is timing, a bad break. The series uses Maritza to speak to incredibly raw current events.
This is America.
Not in here.
And it masterfully makes viewers feel these events on a deeply personal level, through someone they've come to care about over years of watching.
And I called them and I told them all about you, how cute and fly you are, and how you're basically like the next Kylie Jenner, and they have to save you.
Maritza is the perfect character to enter this world through. She's a young, beautiful person who's fully American.
They can't deport Maritza? Yo, she's never even been to Colombia.
She's always been a comic, joyful character.
You stupid, dumb Colombian Barbie.
Okay, 1, I'm Colombian American, and 2, what does my hotness have to do with this?
And we can easily imagine things going well for her. All this makes her sudden disappearance shocking and painful to behold. Meanwhile, her final image highlights just how many others like her that we haven't got to know are going through equally unimaginable pain.
Por favor, no haga esto. Toda mi vida está aquí. Mi familia está aquí.
As they're denied their rights, disappeared, and treated as if they never existed at all.
What happened? She disappeared.
Tiffany Pennsatucky Doggett comes to embody the danger of hope. Since she first entered the show, P-Tuck made so much progress as a person, evolving from a confused, self-deluding antagonist to one of the most positive, likable characters. After a talented GED teacher observes that Doggett is dyslexic,
I am not R-worded.
No, you're not. But I think that you might be dyslexic.
her arc in the final season seems like it's completing this empowering upward trajectory.
I am the exception. I feel that I've gotten better since being here. Most people get worse.
But that uplifting conclusion is not to be. Once again, Pennsatucky is let down by an insensitive man.
You were supposed to request more time for my dyslexia. Do you remember that?
She even implies that Loosecheck is worse than the others who've hurt her before.
No, because I've known some real pieces of shit in my life, but you're garbage.
Forgetting to file paperwork to get her extra time on her GED test doesn't strike us as objectively worse than abuse doled out to her by a string of awful men, starting with the father who terrorized her by drilling in the idea that she's stupid.
God damn, you're dumb.
But this time, the letdown feels worse because she cared so much, because she got her hopes up. The test was a chance to prove to herself finally that she's not stupid.
Do you know how hard I studied for that test? I studied my ass off. Do you know what you've done to me?
When she believes she's failed, the hope that's been fueling her rushes out, leaving her empty and vulnerable to crushing despair.
I don't need some test to tell me how stupid I am.
She overdoses, even though she hasn't touched drugs in years, most likely intentionally.
You think she did it on purpose?
I don't know. Probably.
Flashbacks in Season 3's Doggett episode also centered on a time when she got her hopes up.
I love you too. Now I'm coming back for you.
So in both past and present, What puts her over the edge is getting a taste of a better life where she gets to feel good about herself. When this proves illusory, her learned bad habits and the voices inside her head putting her down come back, more potent than ever. What can we learn from this? First of all, that if you're a person who's giving hope to someone who's not used to feeling it, you have a responsibility to follow through.
Look, I'm here, okay? And ain't nobody else coming through that door.
And not be just another disappointment.
My GED teacher just up and quit on me. Apparently he has a sick grandmother in Illinois.
You also have to be sensitive that what you say isn't necessarily what someone like Doggett hears.
Should we start with the alphabet?
No! See? No, I can read, stupid.
People interpret all of our words and actions through the lens of their past experiences. When teachers want to help Doggett, she assumes they're criticizing her.
Told you I didn't want to take stupid tests, and now you're trying to tell me that I'm so stupid I can't even cheat right?
Likewise, her father's toxic behavior stems from his particular hurt and experiences. We glean from the flashbacks that he's probably dyslexic too.
What kind of moron names your boat Ban Mass? What kind of anti-Catholic shit is that?
It says Bass Man.
And has internalized self-hatred as a result of his community's bullying. For those who can identify with Doggett's battle against feelings of worthlessness, the lesson is to try to keep hope alive without pinning it to one specific outcome. When her boyfriend has to leave, or she thinks she bombed the test, she shuts down and resigns herself to being trapped. But she doesn't have to give up on her whole life when a certain dream doesn't immediately come true. Positive experiences can arm us with the tools to be resilient, even when our goals take more time than we'd like. The tragic irony of P. Tuck's fate is that she did pass the GED, even without the extra time. What's so sad about her story is that it's clear she's a hilarious person with wicked intelligence, yet she can't bring herself to truly believe this.
Pennsatucky.
Cindy Hayes' story is a study of avoidance. At first, the main thing we're likely to notice about Black Cindy is that she's funny. But her talent for humor and keeping it light are tactics in her strategy of dodging confrontation and difficult realities.
And funny is like duct tape. Fixes everything.
In earlier flashbacks, we've seen that Cindy is in denial of her responsibility as a mother. She left her daughter Monica with her own mother and became an intermittent presence, showing up only when she felt like it.
I can do whatever I want with my own damn daughter. You lost all right to call her your daughter when you left her here with me.
In the final 2 seasons, after betraying her best friend Taystee to protect herself in the aftermath of the riot, Cindy is literally crippled with guilt. She develops debilitating back pain that's her remorse and conscience physically manifesting in her body. Just as she can't escape this bodily reality, Cindy gradually realizes that she can't keep emotionally evading the things she's done.
You need to forgive yourself for testifying against your girl.
After she's released, Cindy returns to live with her mother and Monica, trying to build a positive life on the outside. But when Taystee gets her revenge with a letter exposing the truth about Monica's parentage, Cindy reverts to her old habits and runs off.
You drop a bomb in the middle of my house and then run off?
I thought you said you changed.
I thought things would be different.
She ends up hitting rock bottom and living on the street. And her turning point comes when another homeless woman says to her,
"The way I see it, if you made a person, you on the hook forever."
This woman is speaking about her own parents, and at first we might think Cindy's hearing these words as saying her mother will have to forgive her. But in fact, this statement shocks Cindy into remembering that she's a mother, that she's on the hook, and running away won't change that.
'Cause I made you. And I ain't ever been too good at keeping at something. But the woman who made me taught me better than that.
Digging deeper, we can see that Cindy's pathological instinct for avoidance actually comes from low self-esteem. And the more she flees her responsibilities, the more she proves to herself that she's a bad person who deserves to suffer.
But it doesn't matter what I do or how bad I want to change. All I ever end up doing is making things worse.
Her betrayal of Taystee exacerbates this tendency. She views what she did to her best friend as beyond forgiveness. Since this is too terrible to face, she can only cope by continuing to avoid it. But Cindy's paralyzing self-hatred is still ultimately a form of selfishness. Self-centeredness has always been Cindy's problem, and her solution is to step outside of how she's feeling. Once she focuses on others' points of view, it becomes easier to stop obsessing about her own worthlessness and do right. She takes a small but concrete step towards being a reliable fixture in her family's life.
But I'm still gonna be here, Monica. And I'm gonna prove to you that you can trust me, that the both of you can trust me. Every Sunday, 11 o'clock.
Cindy can't fix what she's done wrong, especially not for Taystee. But her redemption is simply that she's present, no longer avoiding the truth.
I wanna tell you about your dad.
And no longer avoiding her life.
Because she kept after you. And she kept showing up. And I wanna be like her. So I'm here.
Meanwhile, another character makes the opposite choice. Lorna Morello represents running away from reality. Her season 7 episode, The Hidey Hole, shows her attempting to literally outrun painful truths, both in her flashback and in the present at Litchfield. Lorna's problems with reality have been apparent ever since we found out in season 2 that her beloved Christopher was not her fiancé, but a man she became obsessed with after just one date.
She left notes on my car, she threw trash on my lawn, she left voicemails yelling about how I wasn't helping enough with the dog. I don't even have a dog.
Actress Yael Stone said she believes the character suffers from mental illness, most likely erotomania, the delusion that someone is in love with her in spite of evidence to the contrary.
Did she ever make an attempt on your life?
Yes.
He's being so dramatic. They're twisting this whole story.
Lorna characterizes herself as someone who loves love.
I deserve to be with somebody who loves love.
She's romantic about romance.
I am so happy for the both of you, and I only hope that one day I can find the kind of love that you two share together.
This is combined with some level of psychosis. Lorna creates a beautiful alternate reality in her head and discards those ugly facts that don't fit. But the mystery of Lorna has always been to what extent she knows, deep down, that she's lying about her life.
I'm missing my fiancé, Christopher, is all.
She has moments where the truth breaks through to her and she acknowledges that something's wrong.
I'm crazy. I'm a crazy person. There is something really wrong with me.
Over time, Lorna seems to be overcoming her tendency to retreat into delusion. Christopher's confronting her in front of her friends at prison.
I don't know this woman, okay? We went on one date. One. She's a stalker.
Helps her build an open, honest relationship with Nicky. At last, her dreams seem to finally come true when she marries Vinny, a man who knows and loves her, and she becomes a mother as she always wanted to be, even if the circumstances aren't exactly how she imagined it.
It's just my mama bear instincts are raging to protect little Julius or Augustine. I'm still workshopping the names.
Weren't those the rat names?
But then this dream is abruptly taken away with the premature delivery and the tragic death of their son Sterling. Lorna's instinct for self-deception reappears with a vengeance.
I don't know where you're getting those photos, but it's not him. It's someone else's baby.
Could you please stop saying that?
Your baby is dead, Lorna.
Not wanting to face the loss of a child is exactly how any parent would feel in this heartbreaking situation.
I understand why you wouldn't want to accept what happened, because that makes it real. And losing your child, I mean, that's the kind of pain that a lot of people never recover from.
But as she resorts to creating a fake Instagram account for Sterling and refuses to engage honestly with her husband who's also grieving, Lorna makes her choice to flee the reality she doesn't want for the fiction of her heart's desires.
But I thought at least we could help each other to get through this.
Well, you didn't leave the baby with my sister Franny, did you? Because, you know, this one time I saw she let my nephew teeth on a packet of cigarettes.
The temptation is to assume Lorna is like any other person who knows they're lying.
When I look at you, and really look at you, I can see that a part of you knows.
And many people's first instinct might be to reason with someone like Lorna, to force her to see the facts.
Because it's the truth. All right, you have to start accepting the truth.
But this isn't effective. Lorna's delusion is too powerful and fixed to be brought down with logic. Whenever Lorna is confronted with a painful event, a strange look comes over her face. It's like we can see something splinter in her mind. And the flashback reveals that in moments like these, Lorna actually blacks out. I can't remember anything. Her mind is blocking out the trauma, which threatens to puncture the beautiful balloon that is her romantic dream of her life. As Lorna runs out of the prison into the sunlight at the end of Hidey Hole, it's a visualization of her attempt to escape into unreality. It's important not to minimize that, like a number of characters, Lorna should be getting medical help for her mental illness.
She needs more help than you or me can give her.
But to a lesser extent, we all face the temptation to dress up the truth to make it more palatable. Many of us might think a pair of rose-colored glasses isn't the worst way to cope when life doesn't live up to the fairy tale. Ultimately, though, Lorna's choice of unreality leaves her in a state of isolation and mental deterioration.
I want to be with you, but if you can't live in reality, then maybe we should get a divorce. Do you hear what I just said?
So her story underlines that the more you feed the lie, the more that lie will grow, pushing out everything else of value. Until holding on to this big, grotesque fabrication is incompatible with sustaining a real life, and you have nothing left but the lie.
I'm writing to my baby. The father's keeping him away from me.
Gloria Mendoza's story underlines the difficulty of knowing what's best for your family's future.
Yo tuve que irme para buscar una oportunidad. Y ahora...
No tenías que irte. Esa fue tu decisión.
Wanting a better life for her kids, Gloria moves away from her daughters in Puerto Rico to make money and bring them opportunities in the U.S. She ends up taking a longer path, which she believes will yield greater rewards. But by the time she's ready for her daughters to join her, they feel she missed being their mom during the years they needed her.
Nos vamos, Gloria.
Sí, vienen, Ceci. Tú no te mandas. Yo soy tu madre.
¿Desde cuándo?
Most parents face a similar struggle to some degree. Is it better to be present with your family or make sacrifices to better their situation, even if they won't understand?
Yo estoy aquí haciendo todo lo posible para ustedes.
Given that Gloria ends up in prison, her story captures that our plans we make rarely turn out as we hoped. It's impossible to predict what will happen, so counting on a rigid vision for your family's future can be a dangerous gamble. Near the end, Gloria tries to make up for losing her daughters by helping other separated families connect.
I think you should let your boys know.
Thank you.
Just hurry up.
This choice directly threatens her goal of rejoining her own sons via her imminent release. So her arc in this season highlights that eternal conflict parents face between doing right by their own kids versus doing what's right for everybody's kids.
But I was stupid, helping those women talk to their families instead of putting mine first. I should have been a selfish prick, just like you.
The idealistic answer to this dilemma is that being a good person helps make the world better, which is what your family needs too. But no matter how good your reason is, a kid can't understand why her mother isn't there.
Los niños no saben nada de barrios buenos, escuelas seguras, nada de eso. Ellos quieren estar con su mamá.
¿De qué sirvo yo si no es para darle una vida mejor?
Gloria is saved from her terrible dilemma by Loose Check finally doing one good thing and taking the fall for her.
I know how the phones are getting in. I bring them in. It's me.
While Gloria may get her much-delayed happy ending, she embodies these impossible choices that come with being a mother. The best thing we can learn from her story is to do our best in the present without getting too many steps ahead of ourselves or chasing after a future time that may never come. Maria Ruiz demonstrates the power of taking responsibility for what you've done. After no small number of twists and turns in her outlook,
we got pregnant Maria, gangbanger Maria, Jesus saves Maria, whatever weird cult this is Maria.
As Maria nears the end of the series, she's viewing herself as a victim.
I am the victim.
She believes that whatever she's done wrong pales in comparison to how much she's paid for it.
I should write myself a letter. Dear self, sorry everyone in your life's been shit.
And her crimes didn't even have individual victims who suffered meaningfully.
All I did was sell some bitches a few fake clothes. They wanted brand names. I gave them brand names, so who's the victim there?
Gucci?
Gucci.
But regardless of whether her punishments fit her sins, she comes to realize that her actions have hurt people.
I got greedy, and I made the wrong choice, and I screwed up our life.
In the end, Maria embodies why it's crucial to stop blaming the world, take stock of choices we regret, and look maturely at how we've hurt others.
Restorative justice can help us understand why we did what we did. It can help us feel the effects of our actions on the people we may have hurt.
Once she does these things, her situation immediately improves. Her ex brings her daughter to visit her so she can build a relationship with her child, which is what she wants most of all.
And I may be a criminal and a piece of shit and all that, but I love my baby. I stay alive for my baby.
So instead of dwelling on our grievances, as soon as we own our mistakes, we just might find that this action alone turns things around for the better.
Red's ending illustrates the dangers of anger, as well as the perils of aging without a safety net. On one level, Red's story is a cautionary tale about hanging on to rage.
Stop hitting walls and plot your revenge.
Matching the trademark hair color that spawned her nickname, Galina Red Reznikov is a fiery person full of tough spirit.
The second you're perceived as weak, you already are.
The series immediately introduces her as a powerhouse who rules the prison kitchen and reigns as the proud mother of her prison family.
Thank you, Mommy.
In light of this vibrant portrait of strength, it's particularly heartbreaking when this character who once seemed unbreakable is diagnosed with early onset dementia in the final season.
I can't say how quickly, but eventually you'll need assistance with all the activities of daily life.
Yet if we look closer, Red's decline has been a longer, more gradual story. As we get to know this dynamo over the years, we observe that her inner fire, in addition to making her ferociously loving, also leads her to cling to anger.
You called my food disgusting. You're getting starved to death!
Which, over time, corrodes her from the inside.
So they can put me on a leash and feed me food too for the rest of my life. They can drag me out of this kitchen when I die.
And the painful fate that befalls her is, at least in part, caused by her inability to let go of all this rage. A big trigger of Red's mental deterioration is the unthinkable torture inflicted on her and her family by sadistic rogue CO Desi Piscatella. But Piscatella only gets into Litchfield during the riot because Red lets him in, hoping to get revenge.
Oh, did Mommy not tell you about her secret plan? You were gonna catfish me into a mousetrap and then what? Stab me to death with your sharp Russian wit?
Her long isolation in SHU then causes irrevocable damage to her long-term health. But she's placed there because she attacks Frida in a fury over her friend's betrayal.
Look me in the eye, coward!
Back off!
You were my friend! How could you?
As admirable as it is that Red values loyalty and honesty above all and holds herself to a high standard in relationships,
It's about character. It's about who shows up for you and who you show up for.
her inability to overcome passionate grudges and disappointments causes her to suffer more than any of the people she vows to punish.
You're off to the shoe. Looks like you ruined things all on your own.
I trusted you, Frida, and you threw me to the wall like a bag of old meat.
Because she won't curb her emotional reaction toward Frida, she misses the opportunity to meet her grandchildren for the first time. So her hot-headed impulsivity directly harms her long-term happiness.
How can I sleep knowing Frida's in Florida living the life of Riley while I'm stuck in this cesspool, missing all the good years with my grandchildren?
Just as Red won't let go of past events, her past won't let go of her. As the series ends, she desperately attempts to obtain forgiveness from the mother of a young man whose death she unintentionally caused long ago.
Галина, огромное тебе спасибо за совет. Илюша уж был настоящим маменькин сыночком. Нам он не пригодился.
But when the mother denies her this grace, adding insult to injury, Red's told that she's already received this rejection.
She said that you already sent her that same letter 10 years ago, the same apology. She said she didn't forgive you then, and she isn't ready to forgive you now.
And we can only assume her ailing mind will drive her to repeat this humiliating emotional distress again.
I never sent her a letter.
See, I think that, maybe it did, and, you just forgot.
It's a fate that captures Red's essential problem. When you refuse to give up past hurts and grievances, you're sentenced to relive that pain over and over. Even if she won't forgive, though, time will force her to forget. And Red's forgetting creates a personal hell for her in the form of Frida.
Galina Reznikoff. And you are? Berlin. Frida Berlin. Nice to meet you, Frida Berlin.
Red is doomed to live beside this woman she's forgotten she hates, only to intermittently remember long enough to be tortured by the knowledge that her burning desire for revenge is forever thwarted.
I remember! I'm gonna wait it out till you lose your mind again. And then, maybe we'll play a few hands of gin. I'll kill you!
In addition to teaching these lessons about anger, Red's bleak ending is a devastating portrait of how the tragedy of aging is exacerbated by destructive, callous institutions. Red's diagnosis is all the more sad because it could have been avoided. The prison is directly responsible for triggering and accelerating her health issues through locking her up in SHU.
The rapid progression was probably caused by an acute case of delirium that began while you were isolated in the segregated housing unit.
It also rewarded and tolerated the dangerous Piscatella. Red's story illustrates how environments like Litchfield not only don't provide for the special needs of old age, but even actively damage elderly people and worsen their problems. This is a very relevant observation given that the elderly population in prisons is rapidly growing, and now higher than ever, with close to 200,000 people in American prisons aged 55 and older. For as long as we've known her, Red's personality has been synonymous with the iconic shade of her locks.
It's red.
But as she stops dyeing her hair and lets it go gray, this visually reflects her fading health and mind, and signals even that she's becoming less herself. The Red we first got to know was impossible to defeat, the leader who mothered and took care of those weaker than her.
You gotta hit rock bottom before you know which direction to go in.
In most stories, this character would inevitably triumph over anything you threw at her. So the unremitting misery of her ending, the fact that she can't get back up again, sends a clear message about how impossible it is to overcome a world that's fully stacked against you.
Happily Ever After was invented for the storybooks, so kids reach breathing age without killing themselves.
As Red ceases to feel like herself, the one silver lining is that someone else becomes the new Red at Litchfield. Nicky Nichols' ending is about paying forward the kindness you've benefited from. As the series wraps up, Nicky's longtime prison family unravels.
The band is broken up.
Feeling guilty that she failed to read the signs of Red's and Lorna's worsening mental illness earlier.
So don't take this the wrong way, but you've been with her this entire time, and you didn't know.
Nicky scrambles in vain to keep the family together, even neglecting Shani, the new woman she's fallen for, and failing to say goodbye before she's deported. Her belief that she's let her loved ones down calls back to season 4, when Red learns that Nicky has relapsed into drug use and blames herself for not noticing sooner.
I failed you.
But in this case, there's nothing Nicky could have done to change Red's outcome. And likewise, even if she could keep Lorna in D-Block with her like she tries to, it wouldn't be enough to give her friend what she needs.
She needs more help than you or me can give her.
So in the end, Nicky takes Red's place as the new prison mother to other inmates, a succession that's visually signaled through her sporting Red's signature bold red lipstick and nail polish. From her surrogate mom, Red,
Hi, Mom. I need to talk to you about something important.
who shepherded her through the darkest times in her addiction, Nicky learned what supportive parenting looks like.
Norma's gonna get you some mouthwash. A clean mouth makes you feel better.
When Red gave her prison daughter permission to incriminate her to the federal agents in order for Nicky to avoid a long sentence, she showed what it means to be a true mother, a far cry from the narcissistic, neglectful parents Nicky was born with.
You go straight to your father's house.
No, I'm not taking her.
Oh, of course. So I'm stuck with her. What else is new?
I don't want her.
So thanks to what she's learned from her mom about providing active love, Nicky is equipped to pass on that nurture to others who can use her help. She employs recovering addicts in her kitchen, offering the support she once badly needed.
Day 3 of detox is rough. Here's a bucket. Just get it out. We'll keep going.
Thus, she exemplifies the lesson that, while we may badly desire to pay back the kindnesses we've received, more often life offers us the opportunity to pay them forward. And in this, we find true satisfaction and self-actualization.
You're gonna be okay.
Suzanne Warren's story illustrates the power of embracing your own unique perspective. She begins the series dubbed Crazy Eyes by her fellow inmates, and is introduced to us through white middle-class Piper's eyes as a scary threat.
This is my wife here, so
What?
you need to
No, I'm not
step.
actually.
I will cut you!
Underlining how people with mental health issues, especially people of color, are frequently misjudged to be violent or frightening.
Her name is Crazy Eyes, and she follows me everywhere. That really happens? Jeez. What kind of crazy? They're just crazy. They're just full of crazy. It's terrifying.
But over the course of the series, Suzanne repeatedly disproves the false and reductive assumptions others make about her, and she gradually empowers herself by expanding the scope of her understanding.
Yeah, it turns out I'm a fixer. Like Olivia Pope.
Early in the series, her mood instability, impulsivity, and difficulties reading social cues make it hard for her to form stable relationships and vulnerable to manipulation.
V says I did it. V is a liar. No. She is a truth teller. She told me that.
Though this Shakespeare-quoting erotica writer clearly possesses high intelligence,
Whose loves I prize as the dead carcasses of unburied men that do corrupt my air.
she has a child's emotional maturity and grasp of how the world at large works.
Because sometimes people just don't want to play with you, and that's okay.
Actress Uzo Aduba has said that the stage directions described her character as innocent like a child. And while she remains an innocent at heart, her story in Orange is the New Black is one of growing up.
I'm growing up. It's hard, but it's happening.
She develops emotional maturity through forming healthy relationships with people who get her and appreciate her for who she is. Even though she never really gets the level of professional help she needs, thanks in large part to the support of these caring individuals, she develops her self-understanding and her ability to socially engage.
Thank you. Always trying to make things better. I got a lot to learn from you.
Her deeper nature as a fiercely protective person who wants more than anything to be loved gets to be expressed positively, and she increasingly finds her voice through creative outlets like writing.
This is like Christmas gifts and hide and seek and cooking souffles and bathroom stalls, no peeking.
In the final season, when she faces the truth she's repressed, that Taystee has been wrongfully convicted, Suzanne takes a big step forward in acknowledging that the world can be wrong.
Taystee didn't kill anyone, right? But the court says that she's a murderer.
This revelation unbalances her, since, like a child, she's dependent on the comfort of believing that the world is as it ought to be.
The court system actually made a mistake.
Big what? The court system always makes mistakes.
As she opens up to this more adult-like view of the flawed world as it is, eventually Suzanne even comes to the revelation that she doesn't deserve to be in Litchfield.
I deserve to be here. I heard a boy. Dylan.
Like, you're crazy. I'm special-brained, whatever.
Because her mental condition prevented her from knowing she was committing a crime.
Do I deserve to be here?
You deserve to be in a facility that can help you with your cognitive difference.
But I'm not, Mom. I'm here.
And the final season sees her analyzing the social dynamics of the prison's chicken coop as a microcosm of her social environment, interpreting the chicken's behavior as an analogy for debates about how to treat inmates.
I isolated the offender away from the other chickens.
You put the chicken in the shoe?
A shoe has a negative connotation.
Her painful progress toward grasping complex problems and injustice underlines the importance of looking directly and honestly at dysfunction in the world, even though this is difficult for all of us to do.
P-Tuck hated chicken shoe. Thought it was cruel, and I think she might be right.
By the end, Suzanne comes to own the differentness of her special brain and inspires others to do the same.
You're not dumb. You just got a special brain, like me.
In many ways, Suzanne is the soul of Orange is the New Black.
There is a long history in this country of pudding-taking, and it divides along chocolate and vanilla lines. Also, butterscotch. That's the natives.
The show is full of admiration for her sensitive, funny, loving outlook toward the world, expressed through her one-of-a-kind mind.
When I look into their chicken faces, I just understand them. I think it's because I think of them as people.
The writing takes pains to point out how poorly our system takes care of pure, vulnerable people like her, repeatedly highlighting the prison industrial complex's failure to properly treat mental illness.
Tell her you need your medication.
Oh, I need my medication!
But ultimately, the show uses Suzanne's journey as inspiration to remind us that understanding empowers, and accepting what's unique about us is a superpower.
What is it you really want?
Ice cream. And justice.
Alex Voss comes to represent the inability to escape your past.
It didn't matter what choices we made. We would have ended up right here, on this bed.
For much of the show, Alex tries unsuccessfully to get free from her previous life working for an international drug cartel.
Look, I wish I could do this all over again, but I can't.
When she manages to get released from prison, she's consumed with the fear that she'll be killed by her former kingpin as punishment for testifying against him.
I'm skipping town.
Can't.
I don't have a choice. These people know where I live.
And she quickly ends up back in prison for violating her probation, while her paranoia later reaches such heights that she seems to be losing her sanity.
You stop making light of this. There is a very real possibility that he would send someone for me.
Her fears are justified when a guard attempts to murder her.
You don't have to do this.
Yeah, I do.
For most of her time behind bars, and especially near the end of the show when she hopes to join her wife Piper on the outside, Alex is determined to keep a low profile and not add any more time to her sentence. But she's unable to distance herself from the person she used to be. Her natural talent for criminal activity gets noticed, and she's forced to sell contraband by multiple guards.
I am not your Maria full of grace. I know what happens if that opens up in my stomach. I die. I'm one of the good ones. This is all new to me. Not anymore. You're forcing me to sell drugs for you.
Meanwhile, from the very start of the series, Alex must confront her personal past when her former lover, Piper, arrives at Litchfield. As the series goes on, all the events in Alex's and Piper's past continue to resurface and haunt their relationship.
Look at what we're doing. It's not working. Fighting, cheating, and negotiating.
Haven't we always?
Yes.
After Piper learns Alex named her as an accomplice, landing her in jail,
she's the whole reason you're in there. How does it feel to be in love with the woman who ruined our lives?
this betrayal leads to resentment and revenge, creating more wounds.
I'm really angry because I love you, Alex. I love you and I hate you.
Meanwhile, the reason Alex implicated Piper was already partly as payback for her ex leaving her when she was emotionally distraught over her mom's death. Much later in their relationship, again, Alex fears that Piper will bail when it's no longer convenient, leading her to act out in destructive ways.
Because your life is out there now. And I was scared that you would leave me.
The affair she starts with her CO, McCullough, repeats a toxic past pattern too, as we find out that Alex had another girlfriend when she first began seeing Piper.
This is what you do. You are so afraid of losing control that you just blow shit up before anyone can hurt you.
Eventually, Alex tries to release Piper from their unofficial marriage, feeling that these unhealthy cycles can't be overcome.
Pipes, there's just been too much bad shit.
But in the end, Alex finds silver linings in her inability to leave history behind her. When she's transferred to a maximum security prison in Ohio, she happily reunites with former friends from Litchfield. So this time, we see her reconnecting with her past in a positive light.
Hey, Jones, what does Judy Kim look like naked?
And Piper makes the decision to stand by her wife, even though it's messy and hard, vowing that they'll give themselves a fresh start.
And a clean slate.
So ultimately, the solution to Alex's personal hell of being trapped by a dysfunctional past is to stop resisting this.
I just want you to know how sorry I am for the up detour you took with me.
You're not a detour from my life. You are my life.
You can find peace by accepting what's behind you, embracing the chaotic person you still are, and not expecting more of yourself than slow, steady progress.
Look, life gets messy sometimes. You gotta learn you can't always fix it.
That's The Take. Click here to watch a video we think you'll love, or here to check out a whole playlist of awesome content. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.